Welcome again to Doozer Shop. Thought I would film some of the progress I have made on removing the trees from my roof. So we're going to walk you over here and we're going to check it out. So, I've been busy with the chainsaw. And let me kind of show you what I got going on here. We got sun. I hope this film's okay. So let me kind of show you. Oh, there's a tree in the way. The tree is off the roof. And that's not too much damage, but what I did is, see this tree, the top broke off of that tree, and it was on the roof as well, along with that pine tree, this pine tree here. And if you look up, this whole mess of snarled bushes and vines and everything. But it was this tree that I got cut somewhat here so far. It was on the roof. And this, I think this is a sweet gum tree. The top broke off of it and it was on the roof as well. Okay. So what I did is I got the broken trees off the roof. Was up there with a ladder trying not to fall off and kill myself. And then the pine tree that was on the roof was about touching this tree, which broke off and was on the roof also. So I used a come along and a nylon strap, and I choked the top of that tree that's broken. I used the come along and I picked it up off my my shop roof, and I picked it up. And then what I did is I just kept cutting it back, cutting it back, cutting it back. And basically, the tree stood up right parallel next to this tree. And after I stood it up, I just pulled it down to the ground. Let me kind of back up. Yeah, this is, I've been cutting and cutting and cutting, and I got brush piles, and I got more trees to cut. Let me kind of, I'm going to walk and try not to fall on my head. So I got a little clearing going. So that's the actual tree that fell, I think. Or is that the crop? I don't know. No, I think it was this long. That long one fell. And then this one fell on top of it. And then I got this one fell and compounded the situation. So as you can kind of see, that's the trajectory where that thing hit. So I've got all this mess now to clean up, and I've been chainsawing, trying to clean it up, and I got so much more to do. Doing a 360 here. There's another tree that fell back of my house, and yeah. And here's a brush pile. I've been cutting and separating logs and twigs and sticks. And there's a 360. So this is all I've been working on, cutting all this stuff up. I mean, just, you name it, cutting, more trees. So that's the long and short of it. I'm gonna cut a whole bunch more trees. Like, there's pines there, pines there, pines there, pines there, pines there, pines there. I mean, I don't want this stuff to happen again. And see, if you look down there, that's kind of a trail back to more of my woods, and more trees fell back there. I mean, it's ridiculous. But enough of these trees. I just wanted to give you a quick update with the tree situation. I want to show you something I've been working on in the shop. Finally, I should be out here cutting more trees, but I decided to take a break and work on some machinery stuff. So let's go inside the shop. And I will show you what I have been up to. And my chainsaws and my gas, my rope and my stuff. Alright, so you know the shop. This is kind of where you're used to seeing me film my stuff. And I've been getting some stuff done on the apron for the Colchester lathe. And when I left you guys last time with this, had put the, let me kind of show you, put the pipe, 1/8 inch pipe taps in there and in there, so those are inside. And kind of show you, grab the camera a little different. There's a cross hole that intersects the longitudinal hole there for the oil, and there's a cross hole that intersects the longitudinal hole there. So, and what I also did today is I connected the holes and I milled a slot to these oil channels. So I connected it with that slot, kind of hope it shows good on there, and we hope that this shows good as well. So that I slotted to there, and the whole deal, I got it's at an angle, so the casting, as you can see, kind of steps, and I turn the whole angle plate, as you can see, reference to the T-slot, at an angle. I just loosened the hold down studs on the table and just set the whole piece at an angle. So now my oil cups will feed in there and in there, come up, and oil will well up from these passages that intersect with the cross passages, and then it will go sideways and start lubricating everything as it goes. So these two holes are the main carriage crank hand wheel for the lathe, and different cross shafts, so on and so forth down the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some either pipe cleaner wicking in these holes, or some felt strips in these holes to not only filter but create a little bit of a reservoir restriction, so the oil fills up these vertical holes and then flows sideways. And if the lathe is level, it should flow sideways rather well. So yeah, I'm very happy about that, and I'm kind of, I mean, you know the concept. I'm gonna put a Gitz flip top oiler in there. Well, can't do it one-handed here. Holding a camera, great content, I know. Okay, so that's what the deal is. I'm going to fill up a flip top oiler. Oil's going to go down, over in the casting, up through that little well, and go sideways. And it should work out pretty good. So that's just kind of an example of some work holding using an angle plate on the SIP boring mill. You know, bolting stuff to the table or using an angle plate as such here, it's really a good way, very solid way to mount things to your milling machine. Kurt Weiss, or any Weiss, is almost cheating. Back in the day, all you had is milling machine strap clamps, and just mount it to the T-slots. So I like making these videos to show you guys what's possible on like custom setups and whatever. One of the things that I really thought I would never learn how to do is improvise and make custom setups on work holding type stuff. So now I enjoy it. It's like a mini challenge to fix your odd pieces, sometimes castings especially. So and I got a little, you know, height jack there. That's just to stabilize everything. That little screw jack. I don't know why I call them height jacks or screw jacks or machinist jacks. So to review, we'll have a flip-top oiler there, a flip-top oiler there for all this, what gets lubricated by these slots, cross shafts, and you know, each thing is a shaft. And then you see in the previous videos, I installed this 1/8" pipe thread nipple with a flip-top oiler. That's going to lubricate this vertical boss, which is for the half nuts to go on the lead screw for threading. And it really, like I said, I could have joined this passage to here, but it seemed like this is the end of the line for lubrication, and I really wanted to make sure this got lubricated well. So I put a separate feed in there for that. I want to get a digital readout for this mill, SIP boring mill here. What I got it, let me kind of show you. What I've been using is dial indicators for travel, and I got one. Of course, I'm on the back side of it. I got indicators. Yeah, this is like a 3-inch travel federal indicator on a magnet there. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm not too hip on using the dials because of backlash and, you know, what I'm trying to do here. I know I've used dials before, and you got to either go in one direction or keep track of backlash, but yeah, I really don't want to screw this up, so I've been using travel indicators for all my relative moves. So if anything, man, I'm getting a digital readout for this SIP jig bore mill, because I really don't ever want to scrap something because I made a bad positional move. Yeah. So far, I've been loving my adapter. This is ER40. Takes like, there you go. These are ER40 collets. Capacity up to 1-inch diameter, or 26 millimeters or something. But this works really well. Actually got an 1/8" end mill in that currently. And what I like about it is the mill itself, the boring mill, is 3 Morris taper. And so I get to use anything, end mills, drills, what have you, directly in these collets, which are great. And I'm going to show you. I got up to 1 inch from, I think 1/8 to 1 inch. 1/8 to 1 inch. And I got these on eBay from a seller called Z Live Center. I don't know what that means, but that's what the name of it. And they seem to be within 2/10 or less. I spun them on the shafts on a V-block and ran the collets themselves. Had an indicator check them on the surface plate. And yeah, it seemed really accurate, 2/10 or less. Very surprised, and they weren't that much. I think that was $200 for the set, maybe. I don't remember. Maybe it's $220. I forget. But yeah, Z Live Center. I always like to give good tool recommendations on things that nobody. Well, how can I say this? It's hard to quantify if things are good or not. You know, like magnetic bases are hard to quantify. Remember I got this magnetic base last month or so ago. But it's hard to quantify stuff that's subjective, like how strong is the magnet, how good is a 3-jaw chuck as far as centering, you know, how good are actually collets for run out. But I just like to give recommendations on kind of stuff in the fray where I can help people pick out a good product. But anyways, I just wanted to give you an update on my trees and my apron for the Colchester lathe. Till next time, this is Doozer Shop.